in essence, what was breast cancer. And I felt like I took an inhale, I inhaled, but I didn't know how to breathe. And it was like nothing would come out.
My first reaction was shock. I wasn't expecting to hear that by any means.
It never crossed my mind that it wasn't already won.
When I got the call, I said, what's going on?
That really messed me up until the point where she was announced that she had been cancer-free, and that put me in a more comfortable place.
I realized I had to strap up and put on the armor of God. And God told me, okay, breathe, breathe. And I was, and that's when the faith kicked in.
Sister Betty and Minister Natalie are both long-term members of Bethlehem Church. And when you see them, there is one thing that stands out that they both share, and that is their obvious faith in God. Let's hear their stories.
Big source of inspiration for us was Sister Betty. Having gone through the breast cancer ordeal, she always kept our spirits up. She was like just there for us, and just praying for us, and she was just like a big sister for us, actually. And I'm just so grateful to her and thankful to her. She shared all of her experiences with us, and she's just amazing.
Sister Betty, I want to thank you so much for just sharing with us about your experience. And one of the questions I want to ask you is, how was it for you when you got that call?
I was shocked. I just couldn't do anything. The doctor asked me, do you have any portions? I said, no, not right now.
So how has this increased your faith, affected your faith? Talk to me about how your walk with God has changed since this diagnosis.
My walk with God is so on point because I had to believe for my family. When they seen that how strong my belief was, they came on board. So I had no negativity speaking to. My sister was just so happy. And I know the day that I went in for surgery, the church was there.
Sister Betty is that person you will always find with a smile on her face. And every time we get a chance to spend time just thinking about how good God has been, I just thank God for the purpose that He has over her life and all the things He'll do for her. We're just excited to see what the future holds.
You are my strength.
They say laughter is the best medicine. So how have you just kept her spirits up by just being Dr. Gamal?
Well, I think the whole family, we're a humorous family. We have fun. The joy of the Lord is all over the house. But at the time that we got the diagnosis, it wasn't a lot of smiles and wasn't a lot of joking. It was a lot of serious praying and just holding on, and being supportive of one another.
My first reaction was shock. I wasn't expecting to hear that by any means. But it's so funny, the first thing I wanted to do after I got off the phone with the care coordinator was come to the church. I told my husband, I just want to go down to the church. I think I just wanted to pray. I wanted to fall at the altar. I didn't know what else to do. That was my first reaction, was get down there. And Pastor was there and was able to pray with us. So that was my first response.
So now that you're a living testimony, you've overcome, how can you encourage somebody going through this? Because there's a lot of women that can't have faith the way you do. How can you encourage somebody to get on the other side?
Remember that God is the source. We have resources, great resources, but God is truly our source. And I think one of the things that helped me, music is just my life. And so I kept listening to songs that just helped me through, His Eyes on the Sparrow. And I know He's watching me. Those things have to resonate, I think, in your spirit. I would go to sleep with earphones and earplugs in my ear. I am God all by myself. I can do this, it's Him alone. He is the great I am. And that is what is inspiring and helpful and encouraging. So just be aware of yourself, know who you are, and know that God cares. And it's a battle, but you can battle it, whatever stage you come into place, whatever stage you come into this diagnosis with, you have to just hop on it right away and remember, yeah, faith starts today, so you have to get going. There is a silver lining.
Minister Natalie is such an inspiration to so many of us. I don't even think she realizes what her strength has meant to us and her faithfulness to her ministry, to her family, and just seeing her stand in the midst of adversity and show her faith. It has just been an awesome thing to watch. And I just thank God for His purpose for her life and her willingness to share her experiences to help other people along the way.
What kind of advice could you give to help somebody through? Not everybody's as strong as you are, but for people, say, who don't have faith in God, maybe there's something you want them to know about your experience.
Man, he said I have no faith in God. That's the first thing. Get some faith in God. That would be the first thing I would say. But if you don't have that, I mean, man, that's almost like a mute point.
Watching her really motivated me to become less worried about her situation, even though it is very serious, but it didn't impact me in such a negative way, but more so looking at God's plan through her motivation, through her faith, and how she handled herself.
Some things are inexplicable, and this is one of those things. It's one of those things that there is no real answer for, there is no definitive answer for, and for that reason your frustration is built by focusing on trying to find an answer. And at the end of the day, it's not about the answer so much as it is the journey.
Minister Natalie and Sister Betty, you two are what Pastor Chris calls a walking miracle. We thank you for your transparency, and we thank you for sharing your story with us. We see how God has taken your test and made it your testimony, and we celebrate you today. To God be the glory for the things that He has done.